Welcome to Between the Reads, where we shine a spotlight on some of the most talented Black authors in the industry to discuss their works of fiction and the inspirations behind them. Each episode will dive into the rich and diverse world of literature, exploring everything from historical fiction to romance and speculative fiction to YA and beyond. Tune in as we celebrate the voices of Black authors and the power of storytelling. Are you ready, Boos and Bros? Then sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Tahira Chloe Mahdi is a writer of books, screenplays, and entertainment blogs. She is a community psychologist who has also been a radio, TV, web personality, broadcasting school instructor, video vixen, and college professor. Getting her PhD was almost as cool as publishing her first book, God Laughs Too, Incidents in the Life of a Black Chick, performing the intro on the first all-woman go-go rap song, A Pocket Full of Dimes, and having an actor portray her in the documentary T-Mont Go-Go Inside the Pocket. She has neighbors in Baltimore City and in PG County, but is at home with her husband and two sons. In outer space, Tahira, welcome to Between the Reads.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to talk to you.
Listen,
and your listeners.
Your bio is almost as interesting as this book.
Almost. Roshan is not based on anything. God Laughs Too, I can't quite defend it, but this one, no, this is not based on anything personal. Nope.
I mean, but you got a lot going on. You're a school instructor, former video vixen, college professor, doing go-go, and I mean, come on. That's an interesting life right there.
It is. I only think it's interesting when somebody reads it to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm real regular.
Listen. All right, y'all, so we're going to give her respect. This is Dr. Mahdi.
Hey, I appreciate it. I ain't gonna lie. I do appreciate it. Thank you. That program drove me crazy. So
yeah,
I wear the PhD like a bear that I killed, and I wear the pelt. That's how it goes.
I understand. It took my dad. My dad did his while married and working full time. So he started when I was little, and he got his doctorate the same week my brother graduated from high school.
What?
Yeah. So we had two graduations. So I understand how much work that takes. So welcome, Dr. Tahira, to the show. So tell us what this book, This Is Not How It Was Supposed to Go, is all about.
All right. This Is Not How It Was Supposed to Go actually describes the process of writing the book. Even though two characters, Roshan, who's the daughter, Marshawn is the mother, they both say this in the book. This is not how this was supposed to go. But I had a whole different idea for this book starting out. And every time I said, oh, I'm going to have her do this, it was supposed to be a short book like my first one. They kept doing other stuff. And I was like, these people are crazy. So I'm telling like anybody who was like, oh, how's the book writing coming? I'm like, these people crazy. And they would just chuckle. But I'm like, they don't understand. These characters are going off from what I planned for them to do. So that's what it's about. A young woman, she's 32, she just graduated from college, and she has to move back in with her mother. And there's a lot of drama with a 32-year-old moving back in with their 50-something mother. Yeah.
I mean, her mama my age, and her mama got secrets. I'm just like, I ain't been out here doing nothing compared to her.
No, and you know what? That's one of the things I like best about it is because even when writing my first book, I wrote that at age 20 because there were so many women who were of our age. So I'm in my 40s who were like trying to mentor me and other young women in our 20s. And the thing about it was they acted like they had been perfect angels their whole lives. They never did anything wrong, never had sex with the wrong person, never made a questionable decision, never did any drugs. And they're trying to mentor me. So I had like one lady tell me, I never even liked the taste of alcohol. I was like, what you talking to me for? Like, we don't have anything in common. So I want to write books, and it took 20 years in between both books. So, but both of them wanting to write real stuff, real characters, people messing up, but who are composed on the outside. So, you know, Marshawn has a job. Roshan has joined the community association. She wants a PhD, so she's on paper a certain type of way, but her private life is kind of off the chain.
Mess.
Yeah, it's a
It's
mess.
girl, girl. So please tell us the inspiration behind this novel, because I know we talked off camera and you said it's not based on anything from your life, but I'm just like, where did this come from?
So I'll tell you how it started. So my PhD is in community psychology.
Hmm.
So I did a dissertation with the go-go music community,
Hmm.
talking about membership and another construct that I developed called being of the community.
Hmm.
I've been trying to write a book about it for years, and I said, why don't I just go for fiction? Because I love to read. If I can make a fictionalized something for this, I can spread the word about my research.
Right.
So I started with the fact that I graduated from college at 32. I was already living with my mom because she let me live with her so I wouldn't have to work while I was going
Hmm.
to college.
Hmm.
And I was depressed when I did not find a job after college. I mean, like, even by the time I got into grad school a year later, I was still so deep in depression. It took me some years to come out of it. So
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
started there because that's some real stuff. I'm like, let me start
Right.
here.
Hmm.
I didn't know by the end of chapter two, I was like, oh, this is going to be that kind of book. But that was not, this is not how this was supposed to go at
Right.
all. It was supposed to be about how community comes together. Shout out to Forest Heights, Maryland. That's where I was living. And
Uh-huh.
we have a whole community of people who we throw cookouts together, go to each
Hmm.
other's houses. And
Hmm.
that's what really held me down in my depression. I wanted
Hmm.
to write about that and
Hmm.
relate it to my research.
Hmm.
I don't know where these people came from, why they do what they did. But I'm typing like, oh, these people crazy. But I was like, but this is the juicy book you want, the book
Right,
I
right,
want to
right, right,
read.
right, right,
Right.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. I just, when I was reading this book, I was like, what is going on?
It's a
What
lot.
is going? It is a lot. It is a lot. And this main character, Rashawn, her life is so messy that you actually redacted locations.
I learned, and I'm sure your other authors will know, certain things that you put in a book, people will swear they know. I know who that is, but I'm like, no, you don't. I made
I
it
made
up.
it up.
Like, well, from the first book, my first book, I was 20 when I wrote it. So I'm writing
Right.
down Forestville Mall and such and Prince George's Candy, blah, blah, blah. So people were like, oh, is this such and such you talking about?
Uh-huh.
It's like, no, like I'm making stuff up.
Right.
It's fiction.
Right.
But no. So I said, you know what, if I redact all these things, and I took time to research, like, is there any I don't know, like a rapper named this or a store
Mhm.
called this, so I
Mhm.
could see if anybody could place it anywhere.
Mhm.
Where are the VFWs located in different states and stuff
Mhm.
like that, just
Mhm.
to see if anybody could try to put it together.
Right.
So I think I kind of generalized it to a region, but I
Mhm.
do want people to see themselves, their neighbors, and people they
Mhm.
may know in it.
Right.
It's just, I have no proof that any of it is true.
So, what was it like writing Roshan?
It felt like I'm too old. I can't write this. Like, this is not right. Now, I've gone through my circle for the past couple of years has been academics.
Mhm.
So it's people who are, they write books all the time, but they write books on research and
Right.
history and racism and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And so if I were to say or tell them I wrote a book,
Mhm.
they buy it, but they'd be expecting research and smart
Right.
people stuff.
Right.
And I was
Right.
just like, worried about what my colleagues would think, even
Mhm.
though I knew like my friends, my other communities would really love it. So
Mhm.
it was had to be like that switch of making sure I'm not feeling other people looking over my shoulder, so to speak,
Mhm.
and just having to wave them away and saying, do I want a boring book or a safe book, or do I want some mess that somebody is going to tell their friend, oh, you got to read this mess? Like, this is so, even if you say, I can't stand this girl, some people
Right.
can't stand her. But some people know how to laugh along with her.
Mhm.
And as my mother-in-law says, she'll pray for her. She said,
Uh-huh.
we gonna pray for her, but she at least, recommends it to people if you just really want some mess to get into for the summer. It's perfect
Listen,
time.
it's this. This is that book. Like, if you ever had a friend whose life is just so unbelievable, when they tell you stories, you just have to be like, wait a minute, let me get a cup of coffee. Let me sit down and get a position, because I know you about to tell me some shit.
Yes.
This is that book where you just sitting there the whole time like,
You described it perfectly because think about when somebody tells you something, if you're judging the mess, people have been through some mess. Even the people we've known for years, you may not know it because they may not know what you would think about them. What would you think if you knew this was my backstory? But and if you start telling people a little bit of things about your life and you feel people judging you, so you'll stop. So once I started judging Rosanne, she wouldn't talk anymore. I'd
Oh
be like, oh,
wow.
what is she going to do next? Well, what can I do? If I erase my judgment and think of her as a friend that I'm listening to, that I will defend, instead of judging her, I defend her. That's when all the stuff started coming out. I was like, oh my gosh. Then Marshawn want to jump in. Well, this is what I was like, oh Lord.
Because I love the way that the focus, the point of view shifted. Because, you know, you have Rashawn and you think Rashawn is one way, and then the point of view shifts to her mother, and then you like, oh, okay. Rashawn, you done left out some things. But
Right.
also, you know, you think that her mama is one way when you hear from her mama, but you also know this other stuff from Rashawn. So it's like you getting both sides of the coin.
You getting both.
Yeah, you getting both. You
But
getting
look
both.
up, that's how Marshawn flipped it. So when I thought it was going to be a short book, my first book, God Laughs Too, was maybe 130 pages. So once I had my story together, it was going to be almost like a summer romance. She
Right.
meets a guy, she meets another guy, she likes him better, starts something, gets back with the other guy. It was going to be wrapped up, done, quick book. So I'm telling my husband this, and he said, well, you know, if you want to extend the story, why don't you give her a backstory? And I was like, that's going to take a lot of work. Like, I don't feel like doing all that. But
Right.
I tuned into, okay, Roshan, what's your backstory? And notice she started with Marshawn's growing up story, you
Right.
know, which basically created her. So after that, Marshawn steps in and says, in my brain, is almost like she's knocking at the door, like,
Right.
she's not going to tell my story. Let me tell you about what it's like to raise her. You
Right.
know, raising Roshan as a teenager, trying to protect her, and how she, once she was out of Marshawn's grip, she went off the tracks,
Right.
off the rails. So
Yeah. Yeah. She really did. Like I said, if Rashawn was sitting there, she was my friend. I'd be like, "Girl, what are
you
you
would have to keep
doing?"
a straight face, because that's what I had to do. I was like, let me just listen to you, because I was like, oh, girl. And for stuff that I didn't want to write, where I was like, I
Girl,
can't write that. That's not right. And
what are
but,
you doing?
right.
What
But
are
it's
you
like,
doing?
Roshan is like, do you want the story? I'm like, yeah, I do want the juicy details of a
Right.
story.
Like,
It's like,
okay.
it's like real life. You can't judge somebody with
Right.
your face if you want them to keep telling you these juicy details.
Right.
So that's what I had to do.
So I lost count of all of her love interests. But I do know that she mentioned the summertime dick rules. I mean, what are these rules exactly? To hear?
I think it was. I don't think she ever said the rules.
No, she didn't. So I'm asking you. I need some clarification.
I
Did she
believe
tell you what
this
the
is
rules
this is
are?
for the summer. You know how, like, is it the fall that's cuffing season, right?
Uh huh.
So perhaps there's the summer. Like, we're only hooking up for the summer. And that's just what it's going to be, a summertime fling. We're going to leave it where it is.
Right.
And without the judgment, a whole lot of people. See, here's another thing. I'm, like I said, in my 40s. I remember 20 years ago or 10 years ago, people who had summertime flings. People
Right.
can judge all they want. I
Right.
remember everybody's, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so she just means it's a summertime fling. That dick got to stay in the summer. That's it. We're not going past this. We're not getting married. This was not a
Don't
relationship.
get no attachment. Don't get
No,
emotions
no,
into this.
no.
We just here to you gonna blow my back out. I'm gonna rock your world. That's it.
That's what it's going to be, because she has plans. Remember, she's like, I'm applying to graduate school.
Right.
All
Right.
this is going on, and she's like, I'm going to join the community association. I would like to get a PhD in the subject. So it's just like, oh, okay, on paper she's doing this, but
Right.
people have secrets. She's a bad girl. She's
Yeah.
a bad girl.
That's putting it mildly. I'm just saying.
You think that's mild?
Listen.
I know. I know. I'm trying not to. I'm still treating her as one of my friends, because I want another book. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
that's your friend, but I can judge.
You can, right, exactly. But I told her I would defend her to the world, because I want another book. I want to know, like, now what
Yeah.
happened. Right.
Yeah. And I can see she probably sitting in your mind like, who this chick? Why you on her podcast?
Long as I'm defending her, we good. But she likes the attention a little bit, you know.
Right,
She
yeah,
likes the
okay.
attention a little bit.
I mean, to be honest, Roshan is probably that girl. You hang out with her, you're going to have some fun, for sure.
Absolutely.
Just be also sure that you have bail money ready. I'm just,
You might need some bail money. You
you
might need to
might.
watch your man, you know.
Definitely
But
got to watch your man.
yeah, but she's fun. She's a barrel of laughs.
I.
I know a few Roshans. We don't hang out now, but I've known them.
That's because your husband will probably not want you to be like, who is that?
No, no,
No, no, you ain't doing that again.
no. And plus, I don't have bail money for you.
Right, yeah,
No,
no.
I gotta get up for work tomorrow.
Yeah, no, we ain't shot Rashawn. We ain't got to. She seemed like that person that would stay perpetually in that, going to the club, needing bail money, getting into sticky situations type person. Like,
Yeah,
come on, baby, you got to grow up out of that now.
I'm hoping that she does. I
Well,
think. Hoping.
based on the way the book ended, maybe, maybe, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
She- We could spend a whole podcast talking about Rashawn. That's all I'm saying. We really could. So let's talk about her mother and
Okay.
Thomas, because I feel like they could have their own books.
They could have their own books. Even that chapter where Roshan talks about Marshawn's growing up, how she grew up, what her parents were like. What's Roshan's father's name? Like that kind of, that's a whole movie for me because it played out as a movie and I was like, oh my gosh, could I write that screenplay? I don't know if I could because that's a lot. But yeah, her mother, it's so funny how she was so protective of her. But when we hear her backstory, it's like, wait a minute. So this is why you're trying to protect her so much because you weren't. And it's a difference between like she wasn't a good girl. She did have that one person, Roshan's father, but like, does that mean she is a good girl, bad girl? Are we making those judgments right now, or is that just how it happened?
You do understand why Rashawn was so. There, she was two totally different people because when she was in school, elementary school and all that, she was just driven to perform, and we get to understand why. Which I'm not going to say. Y'all figure it out when you read the book. But then it also explains why she gets to college and she just kind of lets loose because she's like, I'm tired of being this person and performing like this, at least in my head. That's what I'm thinking. That she's just like, okay, it's time to let loose a little. Everybody thinks my family's a certain way, so I had to prove that I wasn't. But now I'm here in college and there's no stigma of my family. People don't know who I am. They don't know where I come from. And so she lets loose.
Oh yeah.
She lets loose.
Hey, I started Morgan State University in the fall of '94. And I remember it was people who you could tell they were letting loose. Like, oh, you didn't get to go out at home, did you? And they wild out. So that's where I took that from. I think Roshan started a random HBCU in the fall of '95. So I'm pulling on women I knew, young women who went through different things and how we judge them, parties, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, her mother and Thomas.
Yeah, her mother and Thomas.
Thomas.
These are gangsters. I mean, and I'm like, dang, I'm getting this gangster story, but it was a little bit scary. And I don't know, I think Marshawn made the comment like, there's only so much I'm going to tell you because of this subject matter.
Right.
I don't know if that's a spoiler to say they gangsters. They gangster type people.
Yeah.
You come from a gangster type family. And some people do, and you wouldn't know it. Like when people move cities all the time. People move for jobs and all that stuff. You don't necessarily know. Somebody can say, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I grew up in a two-parent household.
Right.
This was fine, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Right.
You could
Yeah.
come from a gangster family and you're just trying to run away from that. People do that all the time, just trying to get a better life. It just, Marshawn kind of kept that mentality.
Yeah. And side note, talking about I'm not saying What? I'm saying that Daniel
Oh,
in the gutter
in the storm drain.
and the things that were revealed, I just need to know now what happened to him. Like we can't really talk about it, but I was just like, wait a minute. When you revealed what you revealed, I was like,
Right.
so what?
Because by the end, it's like, wait a minute. So
Yeah.
so I'm writing. I got like a whole bunch of other work to do right now. I had started another book that I thought was going to be a sequel, but
Uh-huh.
Kaya started talking. So now I'm focused on, is Kaya as innocent as she seems? Is she as innocent as she seems? That's
I
what the
don't
next book is
know.
turning out to be. So
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I have mixed, people are kind of, telling me this is what happened. Da, 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 da. I bet this is what happened to him. I was like, really? That's what you think? So I'm listening to people's theories about that. I don't know for now. I don't think I'm going to know until they tell me.
I'm just saying that she kind of calm when her whole boyfriend disappeared, and then
That's what I said. I was like, but he was a jerk.
yeah, but still,
That's what I said. But
I'm just saying.
I've heard at least two different other theories about that. I'm willing to explore. I want to know because I want to know too. So as soon as I get my break in my work and my writing focus again, we gonna find out.
Yeah, we did. I need to know
Me too.
that open end. I was like, well, I'm, I'm trying to flip back through my Kindle. Like, wait a minute, did I miss something? What happened? What
You didn't.
happened?
That's why the end is like a question mark. Like
Yeah.
it could end,
Uh huh.
but we all know like that's not the end of that story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, you playing games now with these question marks at the end of the
it,
book. You playing games.
I've had most men, my male readers, do not believe Bradford for a second. But see, you agree with me. I think we're both like, she a little too calm, but yeah.
Yeah, she a little too calm. And speaking of Bradford, Silas and Bradford, who did you enjoy writing more? And as a reader, if you're a reader and not the author, who would you choose for Roshan and why? So let's take the first part. Who did you enjoy writing more?
I think I enjoyed Silas more. Now I want to be clear: these two people were not in my outline, my original
They
outline.
just showed up, huh?
They showed up. Chapter 2, here comes Silas. He's looking at her. Oh, there's this guy that's looking at me. So I was like, oh, who is this? Okay, cool. Then he shows up again. I was like, dang, this dude won't go away. Okay. So, but I started liking him mainly because toward the end, like he was still, I guess, no, that's a spoiler. I liked him better. I think he was a good guy. But it's so funny. Talking to male and female readers, a lot of men still don't like Silas. Nobody likes Bradford. Well, men don't. Some women are kind of like, like,
I mean, Bradford's eye candy, but I don't trust his ass.
I don't trust him. But he's definitely eye candy.
He's
So it's
eye
more
candy.
like a whole lot of women who are not afraid of the bad girl side, or just like, I don't know, Bradford, like, so I get that. But
Nah.
I think because I like Silas more because it was he felt friendlier to me, and Silas, I mean Bradford is somebody I'd be afraid of, but he had music with him also. So you know how like the music that's in the book, I did have fun writing writing to John B. John B's Bonafide. That was fun, but he scared. I think Bradford kind of scared me. He kept showing up. I was like,
Yeah, just popping up at the most unexpected times.
these two men, and it's funny you pick those two because they just insisted upon themselves. I was like, this book was not supposed to be about them, but they kept showing up. No, here
Right.
I go, here. I was like,
Right.
okay, fine. So at the end, I did think I had a choice for her, but she never does what I want her to do. So,
So,
just
as
like,
a reader, who would you choose for her?
I would probably choose Silas. I think maybe because I was a reader and I looked at this book as me channeling information. Somebody else is telling me. So that's probably why I chose Silas.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I would
yeah,
choose Silas because I did. There's something about like Bradford. Okay, yeah, he gets the checks. He's good in bed. He's handsome. He's all them things.
he's,
But I don't trust him. I don't trust him. He's
no,
scary. He's not telling the whole story all the time.
he's scary. Yeah, he scares me.
And after everything, I ain't saying it, but after everything that went down in that book,
Right.
and then here she is with him, and I'm like,
And especially because he keeps showing up. That was
right.
my thing, was like, why are you here, 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 and here? So that was another that's what scared me. Like, so any minute you just pop up.
And what
Okay.
you doing that you got? I mean, I understand you a cop, so getting shot is kind of like that can happen. It's part of the job, but the brain injury?
I don't know. But I was looking at Marshawn like, so, because Marshawn has a little bit of a, with her whole gangster thing,
Right, right.
connecting dots here was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Like I said, these people crazy.
Girl,
It's a ride. Was a ride. It was so much fun. It's a lot of
that's
fun.
that family though. You be in the neighborhood like, listen, don't be messing around with them. You see
Exactly.
him, you be like, hey, how you doing? You be nice because you don't want them to come for you.
Right. Nope.
Because you
They're
don't know
real
who
nice
they know.
people. Right, exactly.
And they
They're
send
real nice
somebody
people.
to cut your life short, but I'll be polite, like, hi, but I'll be backing away the whole time, like, hey, how you doing? See him in the store.
Right.
Oh, yeah, hey, how you doing? And go the other direction. What's up? You ain't got nothing to say to me? No, I'm good.
Nope.
I just, I'm busy. I have to get somewhere.
And imagine Roshan growing up like that, where it's like, okay, I got to be super, super student so I can try to counteract that. But no. And then I guess she broke out of the shell. She emerged from the cocoon. I don't know what kind of
And
butterfly that is.
became everything that her mother tried to keep her from.
Yeah. So
It's
what do you think about Marshawn's question is, can you outrun genetics in
I
our,
was gonna say it's gotta be in genetics because, you know,
yeah,
I
is there
mean, look at the
anything you
way she
can
came
do?
out, because she tried so hard to be this good person growing up, but it's like it's like she was trying too hard. It's like she was doing that to try and push this other person down that was there all along.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then even I think with, I want a PhD, I'm going to join the community association. Even though I have been on community associations, I have a PhD. It's still not me, but I'm still,
Right, right, right,
still
right, right,
thinking
right,
like, what would you do if you're being an upstanding citizen? I'm
right.
still proving I'm smart. I'm this, and especially trying to prove to her mother, because she said that like chapter one, like, I cannot appear lazy. I cannot appear a certain way
Right.
to my mom. And her mom is right there on her, like, where were you last night? What did you do? And so she's
Yeah,
still breaking out of that shell.
yeah, she is. She is. Now, what the hell kind of name is Dinko? That sounds like Plinko from the Price is
That's,
Right, that game they used to play.
well, I think I heard or was thinking Mandingo.
Ah!
That's, and that's why I was like, what the? But you know how when names come to you, you just be like, okay, that's why when Marshawn even was like, Dinko, Marshawn's like, I didn't name him. And we don't know his real name. So it's just
Right. You
like,
never know his real name. Like, ever.
but it be like that sometimes. You can have lust for somebody, you ain't gotta know their real name. Roshan is like, I just need one night. Just give me
And it
one
never
night.
happened. We kept having these almost. And every time something they'd be right there.
This is what I mean by, they kept, it was almost like he's running from her. I would right into the scenario. Okay, how can I get these two together? This time, okay, I'm gonna put them together here. Okay, how about here? Every time, nope.
The finger scene, ma'am, in the back of the car. Y'all, please go watch this on YouTube if you are listening, because she's sitting over here, y'all, with this face like, Like she's innocent. Y'all authors crack me up that say y'all are innocent. Y'all have the pen.
Oh, we have the pen, but it's just funny. So when I said I played the music, music was such an important part of this.
It was.
The song Reasons,
Mm-hmm.
Earth, Wind, and Fire is playing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I grew up and everybody kept saying, oh, this is the greatest love song ever, blah, blah, blah. Reasons is about a one night
Reasons is about a one night
one night
stand.
stand. But do you know? So I'm believing what everybody says until I was in the situation, thinking of somebody like, oh, for one night, blah, blah, blah. I heard that
Mm-hmm.
song and I said, oh my gosh, just about a one night stand.
It is.
And the reasons,
The
all that
reasons that we're here. The
the
reasons
reasons that
that
we
we
hear.
feel
And
our
when you,
feelings won't
come on,
disappear. Oh.
oh, come on, see?
And after the love games have been played, all our illusions were just a parade. Come on now, that's
And
a
all the
one night
reasons start
stand.
to fade.
And
But
all
this,
the reasons start to
so
fade.
imagine writing this. It's about a one night stand. She wants this one night stand with this guy. And so I have to keep playing the song and imagining. So what's happening now? I had to get my husband and go, okay, we sitting on our love seat. I was like, this is about the size of the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you sit like this. And I mean, I'm trying to get through so I can write. How is this happening? Then I have to sit up here by myself. Let's play the song. Okay, what's happening at what lines in the song and
Right,
everything.
right.
So
Okay.
that was fun.
I bet that got interesting.
And when and the so the next oh yeah, it did. Oh hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'm, I had to dedicate the
Woo!
book to my husband, who said I channeled from a different universe.
He did. He said he swears in another time and place.
That's what he said. He was like, because he's the person I'm saying I tried to make them do such and such, but they wouldn't do it. And I'm then by the end he reads the end result and was like, oh my gosh, because he knew every beat of what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So you got to write something interesting and got some loving out the deal. I mean, that's a win-win. 'Cause that figures. I was like, what? Who is this? I was like, oh, up here putting his finger in places and he don't know me.
but that's what I was saying. But he don't know her because and then my husband, yeah, that's the other thing. The men who have some sense, they were like, well, that's not right. You don't just do that in some girl you don't know. And I'm like,
Right.
but what you're not getting is she wanted this. That's always the difference. It's like now she did not necessarily verbalize her consent. We didn't, all this is 2010 before this
Right,
was
right,
something we
right,
hope that everybody knows by now.
right.
But at the same time, she still wanted it. And she's telling you in chapter 2, she's telling you in the beginning of chapter 3,
Mm-hmm.
I'm mentally telling him, I'm looking at him, giving him, like, come on, me and you, let's do this.
Right.
So I figured he knew, like, she wants him, but he was still tied to somebody else at the same time, which is why I don't think he quite went for it. Well, that could be. I think that's why she thinks he didn't quite go for it, but I don't know. Maybe he just didn't like her like that. He was just getting
He
handsy.
wanted it. He wanted it, but I don't know what his problem was. I was like, come on, man, do something. Stop playing around.
He
The
may
pool
have been,
scene.
he may have been scared. Nikki wasn't at the pool. She wasn't at the pool party, but there was something holding him back every time because it's like, what are you doing? Especially
Right.
if there's so much flirting, there's the eye
Right.
contact, there's everything. Why aren't you going forward? And by the end of the book, I was like, oh, maybe.
Girl, that scene where Nikki tried to threaten Ro
Ooh,
and Marshawn came out and was like, bitch,
right.
who you threatening up in this house?
I guess Nikki didn't get the memo. Nikki didn't
Got
get the
a bat
memo.
out of nowhere. She said her mama grabbed the bat. She don't even know where the bat came from.
Right. What about bat? Like,
Grabbed
no.
the bats like, you about to be up out my house. And she was like, only because your mama here. She was like, girl, what I tell you? You better go on somewhere.
Marshawn scares me. She does.
Marshawn is very scary.
She scares me.
She'd make that girl
love her.
disappear.
Yeah.
She'd make that girl disappear in a hot minute and just be sitting there Drinking her tea, looking at her nails like.
Right. I, she scares me. That's why another reason I'm like, I defend Roshan. Roshan's my buddy. Because imagine having Marshawn as your mother.
You ain't defending Roshan because she's your Betty. You're defending Roshan because you scared of her mama.
I mean, that's true too. No, I felt for
You
Roshan.
scared of her mama.
No,
I
I
don't care.
mean,
Yeah, you can feel for all you want. You
I'm
scared of
definitely
her
scared of
mama.
I'm
You scared
definitely
of her
scared of
mama.
her. But I also want her to keep talking. Like I can't be like, oh, she's terrible. No, she's my good friend. I love her. She's so much fun. I want another book or two.
She ain't her friend, y'all. She just wanted to keep talking.
I mean, but she is my friend. I want to tell you, she is a wonderful person. She don't hurt nobody. Does Roshan hurt
Her
anybody?
mama does.
That's her mama. Roshan is a different Roshan.
That's why you're her friend.
What does Roshan want to do? She want to get some loving for the summer.
She want to
And
get
she wants to
something for the
continue
summer.
her
I don't.
education. She trying to get some summertime D. She trying to and get a PhD. That's what she's trying to do. That's all she wants. We can't just let her enjoy this.
She getting all the D's from everywhere. The PhD,
Earlier
the
back
summertime
then,
D's.
she ain't getting nothing for the summer. She ain't getting nothing for the summer. She had to tell us her backstory.
I mean, that's her own fault. She could have had it from Silas from the beginning.
Yeah, but that wasn't who she wanted. And she was trying to be good because of Silas's situation. She was trying to be good, but I don't think that's what she wanted.
She left poor little Junebug out there all on his own.
Well, okay, why does everybody keep sympathizing?
I don't really like June. I don't really like, and his name ain't Junebug, y'all. But he's so country. He's Junebug.
He's such a junior. Yeah. We don't call him Junebug. Why is everybody defending? There's so many guys.
I ain't defending him. I don't like his ass either because he up in there with Rashawn's mama, knowing how young his ass is. Come on now.
Well, he gotta get some too.
No, but not for her. You was just macking on her daughter, and you turning around and going. Playing masseuse with her
go back
feet.
and read. Did he really mac on her? He was just being nice.
Rubbing her feet
being nice
and bringing her beer.
Yeah, to the mother. But when you think about their situation,
was all being jealous of Roshan when they were talking. He got mad when Silas started talking to him. Don't try to play.
That was just because he knew
he wanted Ro, and he decided to get the mama, which was the second best thing because he couldn't have Roshan.
I love these theories. Well, I was saying that he knew Silas's situation. Remember, they was beefing anyway. All the men she like beefing in some kind of laughing at your face. I just think that he was trying to use her to get to her, even though that's like a spoiler. But we'll find out. It don't matter. Once they read this mess, they'll see.
Nope. Y'all, when y'all read this book, y'all hit my DMs or leave a comment under the video and let me know.
I want a whole discussion.
I want to know what y'all think.
I want a discussion.
Junebug ain't worth a damn. He couldn't have the daughter, so he went for the mama. Period. End of that discussion, okay? He ain't fooling nobody.
He was trying to protect her.
Hell, I think if they both came to him and said, let's have a threesome, he probably would have been down with that. Little freak.
I don't even know what that's.
Making his little dinners and stuff. I think he would be down with it. If they both came to him and was like, listen here, Junebug.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, and like the men in this book, it was so much, you know how we always talk about, well, men going to blah, 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 you know, like in disgust at the things that they do. And it was so many times in this book that I'm like, why would you do that? And it's like, men do such and such and such. And I usually don't condone that kind of thing. But in this book, I was like, just like Bradford. Why Bradford? Like, what are you doing? It's like, men going to blah, blah, blah. So this was one of those. But your face.
Saying.
I know.
I feel about Junebug.
I think he was I don't know how I feel about him. I don't know how I feel about him.
Only thing Junebug can do for me is make me a damn dinner. I could go for a plate. Give me a plate.
Good for food. Yeah.
Give me a plate. I'm good. I don't drink, so I don't want your beer. Just give me a plate of food. The
rest of us would like some food. Roshan was scheming because Roshan was the one who was kind of pushing up. He didn't. He was just being nice. He was just being nice. To
Okay.
get the.
I'm gonna let you have that one, Doc. Okay. Go ahead and feel that magic over there. I'm not
We're gonna
buying it.
have a whole discussion. Watch.
We will. I ain't scared. I'm standing 10 toes down on what I said, ma'am.
All right.
10 toes
Got you.
down.
And I accept it. I accept what you said.
Be
'Cause-
trying to analyze me and
No,
give me
no.
all that psychology and oh
I'm a
yeah,
community psychologist. I
uh-uh.
don't have no clinical. I got a year of clinical training. I don't know
Don't be
anything.
trying to convince me with your community psychology degree that he ain't doing what he doing. All right, we moving on. We moving
Okay.
on.
Okay.
So, who was the rowdiest in your head while you were writing? Because ain't nobody in this book who they seem to be. So, who was the
No.
rowdiest in your head?
Marshawn. And she was knocking on the door from the beginning. Like, let me tell it. I'm like, no, this is not about you, Marshawn. This is about Roshan. So writing that, and then, yeah, she was definitely. That's why she scares me, because I'm like, she's like, let me tell it. You know, it's like, oh my God, okay.
Like, calm down, Marshawn.
Calm down. But
somewhere.
she was angry. She did her best to protect her daughter all her life. Her daughter escaped her grasp and did all the things that was not how her daughter's life was supposed to go. So she was angry about that, and trying to figure out what else she could do. And I think also having that maternal instinct of like, I still gotta protect her. I still, all these things she still has to do to protect her. I ended up feeling for her. I was like, dag, because I have two sons, and just like, I don't know how. I got sons, not daughters, and I never thought I'd see the day when I'd be like, oh, I would, like, people always say, oh, I'm glad I got sons, not daughters. Never thought I would say anything like that, but Marshawn talking to me about Roshan, I was like, ooh, dang, that's
That's a
difficult.
lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot. So, were there any juicy scenes that you left on the editing room floor?
No,
So
I put it
everything
all
made
in
sense.
there.
You put it all in there. Okay.
When I'm thinking about like what's juicy and how to make it, I'm like, can I do this? Can I write this? I'm like, yeah. Like, you want a juicy book? Would you want to read this? I'm like, yeah. So that's how I put it in there.
Okay. So, what was the most hilarious laugh out loud moment for you while you were writing?
When she found out, when she met Selena,
Girl.
that was so
Selena.
funny. Sh-
I'd
That
be like, girl, why you keep tucking your hair behind your ears? It's tucked. Stop tucking. What are
I
you
watch
doing?
TV and think the same way, and that's where I got that from. Like,
Girl.
if you watch shows, I'm telling you, I get people doing this. If we're watching something, I notice it, I'll be like, take a sip of whatever you're drinking every time somebody goes like this. And they'll be like, oh my God. So it's like making that with people,
Right,
then people
right,
pick up on
right.
it. So that was one of those things I wanted to go on Selena that was driving Roshan crazy. Because Roshan, I think she is, she likes sex. She wants sex. She's going to tell you what she's thinking about a person or whatever. I didn't think of her as a malicious person, but it was so funny to have her see somebody that just drove her crazy. Like, why does she keep doing it? She irritates me. So
Yeah.
that was the
She-
thing that
She
I
was
used.
irritating me.
She's irritating.
Like, come on, you all that smiling and tucking.
When she called her Miss International, and then it turned out I was like,
That
oh,
was
that's
the woman that she had
hilarious.
to go and have a job interview with, and she's like, "Oh damn, let me get myself together. Wait a minute."
Right. Because it's different. It's different. She can look at a man. The way she interacts with men is completely different than the way she interacts with women, and how she thinks about that.
That is the time that Rashawn got on my nerves because she wasn't feeling Silas. She said, I'm not giving stuff away, but she found out about Silas and she was just like, okay, nah, we cool. And then she gonna have the nerve to get jealous when Miss International is over there talking to him. Like, what you doing?
But that's what she does, and I think it's about attention for her, because remember when they were at the hip hop show, she wasn't paying no attention to another person, and as soon as she noticed, wait a minute, this person not paying attention to me,
Right.
she gonna go over and try to put her butt on him and everything. Okay, but that's her. If she's not getting that attention from who she wants the attention from, she's gonna go get it.
At that point, I was like, Rashawn, do what you doing. I mean, come on.
Oh, she was doing it. She just had a few options. It was like,
Pick
oh,
somebody, please. Is she on Silas? Then she on Dinko. Then she on Bradford. Then she on Dinko again. Then she on Junebug. Come on, pick somebody.
I've known people like you said, the fun ones. No, every night you gonna get a different story. Why I
Got
told this
somebody.
all? It you go get a different story. So this is that woman that you know.
Okay.
It
So
makes for a read.
it,
Ain't nobody in this
it
book
does
innocent.
make for a read. I will give you that. I will give you that. Roshan's Dick du jour is of the day. Just
I'm gonna write that down.
that's what it is. If she was my girlfriend, I'd be like, okay, who's the Dick du jour this week?
Right. That's who she is.
I'm
That's who
just
she
saying.
is.
If I had a side name for this book, it would probably be Dick du jour.
I like that.
I'm just saying because right.
And if my husband come up here and be like, "What?
What are you doing? What is going on? I'll take the blame. You can tell him I
Oh,
said it.
I'm right.
Tell
Let me
him I
show you the
said
clip.
it. I'm just saying. I might make that the sound bite that I use to promote the episodes.
Oh, shit. I can't. I can't be mad at that.
I mean, you wrote the book. All
I,
I'm doing is responding
it's
to it.
it's accurate. You're absolutely right.
You put it out there. I'm
It's
just giving it a name.
absolutely right. I love it. And somebody said, "What's your book about?" The Dick du jour. I gotta learn pronounce it in French. Du jour.
Du jour. So if Roshan's life were to be turned into a comedy movie, who would you cast as Roshan?
Ooh. I have been thinking about this since I finished it. I can't get. I can't get who did I think?
You know who I would? It'd be somebody that's low.
Who?
Taraji.
She's too old now for it. Cause Roshan's 32.
She
I
could play
I
a
thought
32
about
year old. She don't look her age. She could play a 32-year-old.
I don't know if she
Taraji has
would.
that personality wise. Taraji's
Oh,
got it.
I think she could do Marshawn.
She could do Marshawn too.
She could do who did I think for Marshawn? It was somebody Kim Fields I thought could do a good Marshawn. If she pushed herself and went evil, I think she could do it. She could, but Taraji could.
Kim is too.
We would think, but that's what acting is. Acting, if she went that
Because
way,
I
I
mean,
think
I
she could
seen
do
her
it.
in the Upshaws, and she has a more rugged character in the Upshaws. Maybe, maybe, maybe. But Taraji could definitely do either Marshawn or Rashawn, because she don't look her age. She looks young as hell. So you could totally pass her off as Rashawn. She definitely
Okay.
got the person, and she's from DC. I mean, she got the whole.
I know. See, I was trying not to make it be like these people are from the DC area. I want
But,
you to,
but
maybe
that's
you in Jackson, Mississippi, and you can,
well, that's
see
true.
what's going
But I
on.
think that's who I would pick.
Right. Okay.
I don't. I
I
don't.
can't pick a person for Roshan. It's like some of the other people I can find somebody, but Roshan was purposely written so not like abstractly, but I'll give you like say her we know her bra size or we know her she likes her butt or but she's also like me. If I'm sitting up here like, okay, is my boob sticking out further from my stomach today? Or, if I put on a bathing suit, am I going to eat first? Or can I, all of that kind of stuff.
Right, right,
So
right.
she could be any size. I don't know.
True. What about who? I'm curious who would play Bradford.
I might have to get one of the Wu Tangs to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, who could play? I don't know. But that was the inspiration
I'm
was
trying to go through
looking
my
at
mental
Wu Tang.
Rolodex and who could play that. I have to think on that one.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Now you're gonna have me really thinking about
Because
it.
he has to be fine as shit.
He has to be fine, but he has to be that rugged fine.
Rugged, you know, like he fine, but he got that other side to him, that
Yes.
roughneck side. He's
Who
that
has
rugged roughneck kind of thing going on. And in
that
my
guy
mind,
has
he got to have a beard. I see him with a
yes.
beard.
You see the guy who plays he looks really normal and innocent outside of the show. There's a show called The Boys. He plays a character called MM Mother's Milk. I'm blanking on the dude's name. I forgot. But anyway, I think
Hmm.
he could do it.
Okay, I can't. I'm gonna look that up afterwards. I'm gonna tell you
Good
what you,
name.
because
I
I feel
like.
like he has to have a beard, and I feel like he
He
needs
got
a
a
beard.
beard,
I
a
feel
little bit
like
of
it.
a.
In my head, he's bald. I know he's probably. I don't think he is in the book. I think in the book I remember you mentioning his hair because he had his hair. Was that Dinko or him that had his hair tied up in the turban?
That's Dinko.
That's Dinko. Okay.
Junior's bald, but
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like
he could be.
Bradford is the bald guy.
He could be. But if you see this character, Laz Alonso is the
Okay.
guy. But
Okay.
outside of this one show, I think he looks clean cut. But in this show, they brought that, whatever that is he's doing for that show. I think he could work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All
You can
right.
look that up.
So, are we going to see any of these characters get their own novels? I know you said you're thinking about it. You're working on it.
I started a novel for Kaya. So I
Okay.
picked it up 10 years later, what's
Okay.
happening. Because Kaya's marriage is falling apart. So what is she going through as her marriage is falling apart?
My marriage is falling apart because she arranged that murder. I don't care what you do.
And that was the reason why I was like, is she that innocent? So I'm trying to write for this, but joining her where she is right now is her marriage is falling apart. So I'm like, well, how are we going to come back around to whatever happened there? And I don't know.
Somebody's mouth got slick one too many times. That's all I'm thinking.
Right?
I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it.
We're
Kaya
going to
is not
see.
innocent.
I'm on chapter 3 of that one, and I had to stop it to do all this other work, and I won't be able to get back into it till probably August. So
I
we're
got to
we're
wait.
gonna.
I'm not even worried about Kaya. I'll read that book. I want Sean's story.
We'll see if she starts talking. If she starts talking and give me something, I'll.
Marshawn, I know you up in there. I know you hear me.
Please don't make her do this.
Come
'Cause
on.
I
I
feel like
need
I'm
you
gonna
to
go
be I need you
crazy.
to be rowdy up in her head and
Please don't do this to.
tell Dr. Mahdi that you need your book written. I need you to start
Please don't do
talking.
this to me. Ugh,
Start talking
I'm
cuz
tired
that
already.
backstory that you revealed.
Just you saying that makes me tired. Like I gotta. Oh gosh, that's a lot.
It
Because
is
look
a
at that
lot.
situation. That's a.
That's why I need a
I
book.
don't know how to write about gangsters. I don't know. I don't know gangster. Well,
Yes, you do. You done wrote all about them gangsters in little pieces, drifts and drabs in this book.
little pieces. I wouldn't know how to get into.
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna take your confidence and I'm gonna tell you what. If Marshawn start driving me crazy and I write a book, I'm dedicating it to you. I'm gonna tell you that much.
Let me know if she does. I'll talk to her. I'll talk to Marshawn in a hot minute. Bring her on the podcast. Get you in
Oh,
character. Be like, I want to talk
don't
to
do this
you,
to me. Don't do
Tahira.
it
I
to
want to
me.
talk to Marshawn.
Don't do it to me.
Just
That it
saying.
makes me want to go lay down. Oh my goodness.
See, you insult Marshawn. She's like, what the hell you mean? You want to make you
She
go lay
knows
down?
because when I told her before, I was like, I can't talk to you. Like this is Roshan's book. I can't do it. And then she's like, I want to tell my story. Okay,
See,
all right.
so you need to write her book. Kaya can wait.
Kaya can wait. But we gonna see. We gonna see.
Okay.
Oh, that scares me to pieces. Goodness gracious.
Scares you because you know you need to write it. That's all I'm saying.
You know.
So, where can readers find your books, ma'am?
They can find them anywhere on my website, tahirachloemahdi.com. Any bookstore, I think you can order it. Amazon, of course. Yeah, anywhere you want to order it. Or if you want to order it from me and I sign it for you, that's cool.
Okay. And where can we find you on the internet and social media?
Let's see. I have an author page on Facebook, and then Twitter is at Tahira C Mahdi. I'm on Instagram at Doc, DOC, brand 99, the number 99. I think that's it.
Okay. And for all of y'all, she probably put all this information in her bio on the web page. So when her episode page goes up, all those little links will be at the bottom, so you could just click from there.
Yeah.
We have come to the end of our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here with me today, bringing all this drama and juice and twists and turns.
Thank you for telling Marshawn her story needs to be told. I'm gonna get you if she starts talking.
I hope Marshawn, start it up tonight. Get in her dreams.
Oh,
come on, Marshawn.
That's so mean.
Listen, I need her story.
Okay.
The way I stopped when you wrote that part of the book, and I was like,
okay, all right.
That's a whole story right there.
It's a whole story. Okay, you're right. Maybe that's what's next.
Saying.
Maybe that's why Kaya wasn't talking. Okay. I got you.
Kaya's like, what the hell you writing my book for? Marshawn.
Yeah.
Either that or Marshawn. She stopped talking because Marshawn was like, bitch, you gonna sit down somewhere, be quiet.
You know what?
Because it's my turn.
Yeah.
She threatened her. Kaya ain't gonna talk to you no more.
See? You know too much. She gonna write this book for you. So anyway, dear Audra, I was gonna start.
Listen. I wouldn't be mad if you put that in the book. Like, listen, Audra, I'm gonna tell you my story because I be making up whole stories in my head when I read stuff, and I was like, ooh, she got a backstory.
That's the beauty of this podcast, because it's like, I'm like, oh man, she gets it. It's gonna be so much fun, but I knew you was gonna get me in trouble somehow in this with the Marshawn story.
I mean, you're gonna end the book with question marks. You can't expect me to not retaliate, right?
I know. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Burn it on yourself.
You're right. You're right.
Burn it on yourself. Have you listened to my podcast? You know what I do here.
I know. Thank you so much for having me, though. I'm just so happy to be.
I thank you for being here. I really, truly enjoyed this book. I'm looking forward to more. Thank you for sharing your time and talents with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, and Boozer Bros, you know how I do. At the end of every show, I leave you with a quote. And today it comes from the Black playwright, essayist, novelist, poet, and political activist Pearl Cleage. And she says, "That's why I love being a writer. My imagination can take me places I may never see except in my mind's eye."
Amen. Yes.
So next time, y'all, you know what to do. Grab a book and read, and I'm out. Thank you for lending me your ear today. If you've enjoyed this independent podcast, you can help me continue to shine the light on Black authors and their stories by becoming a patron at patreon.com/betweenthereads, or by giving a one-time gift at www.ko-fi.com/betweenthereadspodcast. That's ko-fi.com/betweenthereadspodcast. Tune in next time for another great episode.